What's up everybody, it's Seth Fowler and today I'm doing an initial review of the unreleased Jordan Super.Fly 2017 with React foam cushioning. Thanks so much for tuning in today guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet, but with all that being said, let's get into it. So earlier this week, Jordan Brand invited me out to Terminal 23 in Manhattan to check out the unveiling of the Jordan Super.Fly 2017 and the brand new Hyperdunk 2017. And even though both of those shoes definitely seem like great improvements on the previous iterations, the thing that really caught my attention, and I think most of everybody else's attention, is the brand new React foam cushioning. I'll get more into that later, but without further ado, here they are, the Jordan Super.Fly 2017s. The Jordan Super.Flys have always been more of the budget line for Jordan Brand, and in the past, I really haven't liked a lot of the design that they've done and sort of a lot of what's going on with the shoe. But to be honest, I'm kind of into this one. What Jordan Brand has done is that they've actually tried to simplify the model and bring it back to its roots, so make the shoe more of a classic, iconic looking silhouette rather than sort of the weird amalgamation of Jordans that the other Super.Flys had become. One thing though that I've got to say right off the bat is although I like the overall silhouette of this shoe, I just can't stand this colorway. It's like a sand upper with this weird like infrared outsole. It's not doing it for me. There is, however, a couple more colorways coming out, like the bread colorway with an all black upper and a red outsole, as well as a cool gray colorway with a gray upper and a clear outsole, and I think those actually look really, really good. But starting off with the materials, as I mentioned before, Jordan Brand is trying to go for a more premium look, or at least a more premium feeling shoe. So a majority of the upper is actually covered in this short, smooth suede or soft leather material. It surprisingly feels pretty buttery, which I appreciate. However, I don't know how it's going to hold up to scuffs and things like that, because if you're buying this shoe, you're probably buying it primarily to play basketball in. So for this material, and particularly this colorway, I'm not sure exactly how well it's going to hold up over time, at least visually, but I still think it looks pretty good out of the box. At the Nike React event, I had a chance to run some drills in the shoe and do some light shooting and a little bit of playing, but nothing too crazy, so all this is really going to be is more of a design review. A performance review will be coming, but I definitely want to play in this shoe a lot more before I'm comfortable giving out a review. So definitely stay tuned for the performance review. It'll be coming in the next 2 weeks. The toe box of the shoe is really simple. It doesn't really have any design details on it, but as you move up the shoe, you've got these sort of segmented areas, which actually allow for some articulation in the midfoot. One thing I like about this design choice is that it kind of mimics the outsole, so it ties the shoe together, which I think was a nice touch. Moving up the shoe, you've got a pretty interesting construction. You don't actually have a separate tongue. It's actually attached to this front half of the shoe. However, the back half of the shoe is sort of a separate piece altogether. It's almost like they took the front half of a shoe and the back half of a shoe and kind of slid the back half into the front half. I don't know how I feel about it. It didn't really bother me when I was playing in it. In fact, it actually provided some pretty solid lockdown, which I appreciated. However, unlacing the shoe and getting my foot into the shoe was a little bit more challenging than I would have liked. Most of the tongue section of the shoe is covered in a mesh material for breathability. One thing I noticed while I was playing for a little bit is that the shoe definitely got kind of hot, so that was a welcome addition. I don't know how much it helped, but it definitely didn't hurt. The laces are weaved through this sort of ribbon material that acts as fly wire, so when you tighten the laces, it actually tightens the front half of the shoe to the back half of the shoe, and you get some really great lockdown in the midfoot, which I really, really dug. But as I mentioned before, you really do have to loosen the laces a lot to actually get enough room to get your foot into the shoe, which again isn't a bad thing. I'd prefer lockdown in a basketball shoe. I think that's more important than ease of getting the shoe on, but it's just something to keep in mind. At the top of the tongue, you've got another piece of this short suede material that's pretty well padded. It's got Super written on the right shoe and Fly written on the left shoe. Inside the shoe, you've got a pretty standard Air Jordan insole, and it's actually in the same sort of infrared color that the outsole is. Jordan Brand has also taken one of my favorite features from the Jordan 31 and put it onto the Super.Fly, which is this sort of ankle padding area that kind of sits in the negative space on your ankle. That's a feature that I didn't think I was going to like originally, but then when I started playing in the original Air Jordan 31, I was really blown away. It was crazy, crazy comfortable. The rest of the sock liner area is pretty well padded. You're not going to have any problems with comfort. Moving back on the lateral side of the shoe, you've got this plastic Jumpman in black. Something that I've noticed the more that I look at the shoe is that it seems like a lot of design inspiration was taken from the Air Jordan 11. If you look at the midsole, you look at the outsole shape, and then even when you look on the back of the shoe, this sort of dip where the sock liner material comes down is very reminiscent of the Air Jordan 11. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm actually kind of drawn to the silhouette way more than any of the previous Super.Fly silhouettes. It just seems more refined design-wise. The silhouette itself just seems faster and cleaner. I'm impressed. I'm actually impressed by this shoe. On the medial side of the heel, you've got Flight debossed in a 3M material, so when you hit it just right with the light, you get Flight popping out at you, which I think is a cool touch. I think the actual size of the text is a little bit big for me. I would have preferred if it was a little bit smaller and more understated, because this way it's kind of busy. Oh yeah, and then at the event, one little detail that they made sure to point out is that on these little plastic eyelets at the top of the shoe, they embossed 23 on there, just as a nice little extra detail. Cool. Moving down the shoe, we get to the part that everyone's excited about, the part that I was really intrigued by, the React Foam midsole. Nike's goal for this cushioning was to come up with a foam that was not only responsive, but also really cushioned your foot well, and in addition to that, be lightweight and durable, which is something that doesn't usually go together. All four of those things are really tough to put into one package. To be honest, when I was listening to the people from Nike talk about the cushioning, I was kind of like, okay, just another cushion, not too much different. But as soon as I got the shoe on my foot, felt pretty good. Now right off the bat, people are going to be comparing this to Adidas Boost, and I think that's an unfair comparison. I think it should be compared more to Bounce, because this is definitely not as soft and as pillow-like as Boost. Once I get a chance to play in this shoe more, I'll let you guys know more of what I think about this cushioning and how it compares to Bounce and other cushions that are similar. But for right now, I'm pretty impressed. Finally, moving to the outsole of the shoe, you've got this really interesting sort of heat map pattern, which I really dig. The outsole is mainly composed of this infrared colored rubber, but you've also got some dark maroons and purples, sort of where the stress areas are in your foot. Again, I don't feel comfortable talking about the traction just yet because I really haven't gotten a good chance to play in these, but as I've said previously, with all the other parts of the shoe, so far, it wasn't bad. Overall, I'm kind of impressed by the Jordan Super.Fly 2017. It's not a phrase I thought I'd say, but I am. I really like the design direction that Jordan Brand took the shoe in. It's worlds better than any of the previous Super.Flys. I'm really excited to continue playing in the React cushion. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to think of it when I first heard about it, but the more that I tried it and the little bit that I've played in it, it made me want to play more, which is a good thing. If you're interested in grabbing a pair of Jordan Super.Fly 2017s for yourself, they drop on August 3rd worldwide for $140. And thank you again to Jordan Brand for bringing me out to the event and for giving me a pair of Super.Flys. Now that we've got the review out of the way, let's throw these guys on feet and see how they look. That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you think of the Jordan Super.Fly 2017 and if you're excited to try out React cushioning. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to Fowler Customs if you want to see more content just like this, and follow Fowler Customs on Snups, Instagram, and on Twitter.